seven brands, real catalogs, real numbers. So these are the seven brands that we, seven of the 600 brands that we work with. And if you see the conversion lift, or if you see, the ROI that we were able to deliver, or, the total sales today that a brand is doing, of which what is the percentage that's coming from the contextual AI conversation, that's 33%. So it's amazing to see, the kind of experience that and contextual AI is able to deliver to your shoppers. Hey everyone, thank you for joining in. Quickly introducing myself, I'm Sonakshi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Manifest AI, and I also run a community for women in the e-commerce ecosystem. So, I would love to have you guys over there and, take it from there. But in today's session, we are going to discuss how, or I would like to put it this way, how do we interpret a generic AI chatbot versus an AI chatbot that's contextual? So we have seen a lots and lots of chatbots upcoming. There are thousand plus tools today in the world, or maybe in millions, There are million plus tools in the world that is enabling you to deploy your own AI chatbot, whether it's on your website or whether it's for your order management or whether it's for your, let's say, daily purpose use. But what's the difference between a chatbot which actually understands the context behind why you are here, why your shoppers are here, versus the generic AI chatbots, which are more like FAQ bot for you? So, this is what we are going to cover today. A little bit about my company, Manifest. We deploy AI shopping assistants, and me, along with my co-founder, we both have backgrounds in, like, we work for companies like Microsoft and Square, and we work with about 600 plus global brands like Lego, Transformatable, Travel Pro. So there are, such few logos that I want to highlight, and we are backed by Sequoia and Y Combinator. Now, moving on to next, little bit about me. So, like I said, I was a coder at Microsoft. I was a software developer before starting this company. And, our journey changed when we got backed by Y Combinator, the accelerated program. And today, here I am with you, and we are trusted by 600 plus global brands. So now, starting off, so let's say hi to Sarah. Sarah is, let's say it's a shopper. Assume Sarah is here to shop a serum, and she was on the verge of purchasing the serum from this particular company called Skin Flux. And this is what she see on her storefront. Um, Clarity Pro serum, 50 ml, $56 with 312 reviews. And then before, finally clicking on add to cart, she has a question. She has a question about compatibility with her skin. And this curiosity led her to the chatbot, which you see on bottom right. And I assume you all would agree this is how usually the flow is, for anyone to be able to, get to a point of purchase if you have a chatbot. So now Sarah asks a question: will this work with retinol 3x a week? Uh, your chatbot responds, yes, this product is suitable for most skin types. Please browse our full range at skinflux.com. A typical answer. I can guarantee you, most of you here would have 99% of the time experienced similar kind of answer to wherever you go. It's a generic answer. Like, if you have deployed a FAQ kind of chatbot, this is what the expectation is. This is, nothing magical in terms of when it comes to AI. There's no magic behind here. There's no modeling behind this. It's just an FAQ being picked up from your website and being thrown as answer without having any context. So yeah, answer is suitable for most skin types. It's an amazing information that Sarah got from the response, but probably not enough to make her trust the product so much that she actually goes click on add to cart and buy it. Now, uh, what we are trying to say today is, if the question was, will this work with retinol 3x a week? If the answer would have been on similar lines, like, this works well with retinol, Since you are using it 3x a week, your skin barrier needs a extra support. This serum has ceramides built in, so it actually helps them with that. You are good to go. What it essentially means. Now the AI chatbot had a context from behind, context from the browsing history that, okay, this person is actually using retinol 3x a week, and also it understands that he or she has a dry skin. And hence, pitching them the ceramide component of the serum would be helpful here versus pitching anything else. The serum could have niacinamide, hydronic acid, or anything else, but they picked up ceramides from the browsing history that they had in past. So this is the work of a contextual bot. And for a normal person like us, it's difficult to understand when you're evaluating tools, it's difficult to understand whether the answer was actually contextually rich or was it just a FAQ from couple of tests that you do. So today we are going to talk about how do you differentiate between a normal chatbot versus an contextual chatbot. Okay, I'll just skip this. Okay, now, we'll talk about little bit on what happens when you deploy a contextual chatbot versus an FAQ bot. So, these are few numbers and these are real research numbers. These are not made up numbers at all. So if you see, 70% is the average card abandonment rate. D2C brands in high consideration categories often run materially higher than this average. This is the global baseline, but we have seen higher consideration categories run materially higher than this average. Then, 53 to 77%, of had a bad or frustrating chatbot experience. Now imagine so many of you are spending so much money into buying a new chatbot tool, buying that AI shopping assistant that's going to change your shopper's behavior, that's going to change your brand trajectory. But what's happening? 77% of people are really not happy with the experience that you put up. Of course, the experience is amalgamation of multiple things like the user experience, your AI responses, or the way you have modeled your AI. It is a culmination of everything together. But this is what the research says that 77% people are very frustrated from the current chatbot experience. And McKinsey and Company research says that 76% are frustrated without personalization. It's a huge number, huge, huge, huge number. Even if you solve for 1% or 5% of this 76%, you are set. You'll see that growth in the next upcoming months. So, like if you also did a math behind using these numbers, and this is a hidden cost that's being accounted to your P&L today, which is, let's say, if you have 100K session, and then, there is 5% chat engagement, 20% failure rate, and $80 AOV, assuming an average US e-commerce standard AOV, then $80,000 a month in invisible leakage. You plan to deploy an AI chatbot thinking it's going to do some magic, it's going to show uptick in revenue or automate your tickets, but at the same time, you have started to leak revenue from your storefront. And hence, it's a P&L problem. It's not just a customer experience problem. It's actually a P&L problem. I would actually suggest you post this session, show this slide to your CEO, show this slide to your founder, show this slide to your VP, and ask them, does it make sense or not? Now, AI has advanced so much. We keep hearing about Claude changing the world. It's being able to handle most of the work that were done by different employees in past, and it could handle XYZ kind of things and blah, blah, blah. Then why is a chatbot bleeding revenue? What's the catch? So, there are top typical five reasons. One is, and all of these five reasons result into making your chatbot contextually rich. So today we are going to cover what are those five reasons, which is making your chatbot a poor CX experience. So first is, no memory. Every visit starts from zero. Your bot doesn't know Sarah bought the serum 6 weeks ago. You require her on Meta at a $30 plus CAC instead. It's a huge leak. And why is this happening? Probably because you are let's say you had your help desk vendor who has now built an AI shopping assistant. So you just, chose them to deploy an AI chatbot on your behalf on your website. They don't have any memory to who Sarah was. They have no memory to what Sarah's preferences are. They just know if Sarah has raised a ticket in past or not, which is not enough to actually give out an experience to someone like Sarah to feel that your brand is giving the personalized experience she deserves. Similarly, no catalog awareness. A generic LLM hallucinates SKUs, prices, stock. One wrong answer kills trust on a $200 cart. Rule based bots can't answer anything outside their FAQ tree. Like I said earlier, like if your bot is just FAQ based, you have feed it in some information through your tickets, through, manually feeding them through your knowledge center, it's not going to talk really highly about your catalog, right? So it has the awareness in terms of you have integrated your catalog there, but to really talk highly about catalog, the LLMs has to go beyond the FAQs that you have feed it in to literally make sense. Let me give you an example. Let's say if it's a fragrance brand and you have given the catalog access to your chatbot saying that, okay, I have these 20 SKUs and these are my fragrances, like a vanilla fragrance, like a fruity fragrance. But now, from an awareness standpoint, what I wanted to say here was um, your LLM or chatbot does not have understanding that Chanel is selling a similar fragrance. Chanel is selling a fruity fragrance and the model name is XYZ. But your shopper exactly knows that. If a shopper is coming to buy a fragrance from you, he or she is very well aware of the market on what Chanel is selling, what other brands are selling. So, that context has to be fed into your chatbot as well. And that can't happen through you. That your chatbot has to be intelligent enough to understand and interpret that. And third is no behavioral signals. It can't see the visitor spend 90 minutes. If your chatbot does not have signaling, for example, a different behavior when someone's, let's say, clicking on add to cart, a different behavior when someone has come through ads to your PDP, a different behavior when he or she's coming from home page, browsing catalogs, and then adding to your product. If it's not there as a functionality, probably it's not the right fit for you. Then fourth, no selling instinct. If your chatbot is just answering questions, and or even I would say not just answering questions, but even if your chatbot is trying to, recommend products, right, that's not enough. The selling instinct has to be there. And what I mean by selling instinct, he or she should know what cross sell means. He or she should know what upsell means. From he or she, I mean your chatbot. So, that again can't be modeled or, an algorithm that you cannot provide. Your chatbot vendor has to have that. And then lastly, no agency. It cannot add to cart, apply a discount, or build a bundle. If your chatbot is not doing all of this, again, it's something that you should not invest into. For shoppers, it really doesn't matter if you have used an AI chatbot that's extension of your help desk or it's extension of your current vendor. It's more about if he or she is able to make purchase decision for your shoppers easy. If you're giving your shoppers an ready-made option to apply for a discount, he or she can just go right away and do that. But if you just say, hey, this is the coupon code, but it's your job, Sarah, to go figure out where you can apply this coupon, that doesn't work right. So these are like five things. Keep in your mind. In fact, I'll share this deck right after this call. But no memory, no catalog awareness, no behavioral signals, no selling instinct, no agency, and even if one of them is a leak, do not buy. I'm just trying to cover when you uh, take a decision of not buying, because when you start investing into a chatbot, you have to train it, you have to put your time to it, you have to put your money to it. So always ensure that you are taking the right decision, versus, going through multiple testing and trying out of multiple chatbots to come to a right decision. So I'm giving you that framework to enable you better. Now, we'll just, a little bit from a support standpoint. Let's say, the old frame of mind, when it was about a normal generic, when ChatGPT had just come in, and last 2 years, we have seen amazing bots when it comes to generic, capabilities, but not so amazing bot when it comes to contextual capabilities. So if we see the old frame, like we said, here there is no cost reduction technically happening. You are just adding your cost to whatever you had so far. No deflection, no tickets handled, and for shopper, it is actually just a burden. The answer that you're giving out versus if you see an AI shopping assistant, which is essentially, becoming your co-pilot, then it drives revenue, it increases your conversion rates. It also shows you real revenue that gets attributed through manifest chats, and the shopper leads to becoming a sale. So yeah. Now you know a little bit on contextual AI, what it exactly means, though we covered what it exactly a generic AI chatbot means. Now we are going to cover what contextual AI means. Memory, behavior, catalog, and intent. These four are the secret recipe of building a contextual AI. Memory, memory is about what did Sarah asked in her previous session, in her previous conversation, or even like 20 minutes back. Having that context and answering whatever she asks in future. That is memory. Then behavior. Behavior is reading the life signals. If someone's scrolling on your website or just spending time or adding, something to the cart or removing something from cart or just hovering on your PDP or, trying to select multiple variants and see what works, that's behavioral. And you can enable amazing use cases through these behavioral signals. You can enable a size guide AI if they're just doing variant comparison. You can enable an abandoned cart recovery AI to ensure if something is getting, someone is removing anything from cart or, doing a cart drop off. So there are different kind of nudges or capabilities that you can enable through behavioral AI. Then catalog is more about, what we mean by catalog is auto trains on your live Shopify product data, whether it's price, stock, bundles, reviews, ingredients, size guides, anything that falls under your meta field. So, from catalog, what we really mean is on a real time basis, you don't have to do or put in anything, but is it able to fetch everything on a real time basis and is able to generate answers or not? And the last is intent, detect why someone is asking. So let's say if, Sarah was here asking for serum, not necessarily she wanted to buy it for herself, right? Why are we assuming, as chatbot, why are we assuming that she wanted to buy it for herself? Maybe it was for her mom, for the Mother's Day celebration, or was it for her friend for a Friendship Day celebration? You never know. So your right chatbots will also give you intents. Was it for gifting? Was it for themselves? Was it more about discount related buying? Was it more about value adding product recommendation buying? Or was it more about handling just support queries? So these four together builds an AI which is highly contextual. So that is something that we need to keep in mind. So whenever you go try out today, as an exercise, go back, try out some chatbots. I saw one chatbot on Macy's website. I saw another chatbot on Sephora's, both are in beta. Try them out and see if it's really contextual or not. Now, imagine Sarah comes back tomorrow. This time, everything changes. Earlier it was more about, I didn't understand that, please choose from menu. And now it has become, welcome back, Sarah. So assume, like imagine if someone's coming back to your website and you're not beginning their journey from that basic static website and those generic chats versus you actually invest into contextual AI and then your chatbot says, hey, welcome back, Sarah. You have won your customers right there. Believe me, like the 50% of your creating a trust in your customer mind is already done. They would feel so good about coming to your website. And there are cases where people themselves forget that they were on your website couple of days back through a meta ads. But seeing your welcome back makes them feel, oh yeah, probably I am forgetting, but I keep coming to this website a lot frequently. So it changes the game for you. Now little bit on Manifest, which is actually a contextual AI shopping assistant. We really want our vision is to make your each shopper feel special, each shopper feel valued. And for that, if you see, like how we deploy it, we do not do like a generic AI chatbot on bottom right of your screen, but we actually literally deploy it in various shapes and forms depending upon where your customers may end up interacting. So let's say if something is out of stock, then the behavior changes of the bot and it becomes notify me when available, and then it does couple of chats with your shopper and then collect their leads. Similarly, there is summarize review. Which again, you can put any shape or form that you like, but it enables you to create that trust in your customers. They can come and ask question like, "Hey, from since you mentioned ceramide as your key ingredient, can you mention a little bit on the ratings and reviews for people who used it for dry skin?" And then, your reviews not only just become that real estate place on your website and with lots of ratings, and people have to go through the pain of reading it, versus it really becomes a place where people can ask questions, put in their thoughts. So you can gather those intents and make it even a stronger story for yourself. I'll just skip it because we already covered. This is how in various places you can deploy contextual AI. You just don't have to, deploy it like a normal generic chatbot. The questions that you see here are all contextual. So when someone comes on PDP, on which PDP he or she has come, where from where he or she has come, how much time it has been he or she spending on that PDP, depending on that question comes up on a real time basis. So that is how powerful this is. Then, I'll just skip it. Now, this is what I really wanted to focus on. We provide about 100 plus contextual AI agents from our agent marketplace. So let's say you can deploy a shopping pattern recommendation agent, you can deploy a shopping guide agent, you can deploy a routine suggestion agent, style match agent, whatever you can think of is available with us. Beyond this, you can also build your own commerce agent. So it's more about the use cases that you feel could be relevant for your shoppers, and then use that as a baseline, and then build out your contextual AI. Sorry. So this is how we position. Now, two bots, two business outcome. What we mean by that is, usually bots are, let's say, designed for customer service, or your personalization is designed for increasing conversion rates. But when you deploy contextual AI, it can do both together. So how it does is, this is what we have listed: the architecture, memory, catalog awareness, personalization, surfaces, onboarding, and primary KPI. So, one thing that I would like to highlight is it gets auto trained on your catalog and live in within 7 days. So you don't have to worry about it. And history, intent, behavior, this is the key ingredient or recipe of making it as personalized as possible. This is a slide that I really wanted to focus on. 7 brands, real catalogs, real numbers. So these are the 7 brands that we 7 of the 600 brands that we work with. And if you see the conversion lift, or if you see, the ROI that we were able to deliver, or, the total sales today that a brand is doing, of which what is the percentage that's coming from the contextual AI conversation, that's 33%. So it's amazing to see, the kind of experience that and contextual AI is able to deliver to your shoppers. But yeah, like I would like to end this presentation with some key takeaways. One is, just evaluate yourself, how your shoppers would feel like when you are just giving them an FAQ commerce bot, which can do just basics of what they expect, versus a contextual commerce bot. Just think from keeping yourself in the shoes of your shoppers and then take a decision. So either you go the A route or the B route, but it's going to, decide your future in terms of how well are you able to adapt the agentic AI for future references. So, this is where I end today. But what we are going to do right after this session, I'm also sharing my Calendly if you want to book one. but I'm going to share this presentation right after this meeting. And also, we are going to, share you a calculator of to show you what it looks like if a generic chatbot is running today on your website versus if you deploy contextual AI. So yeah, thank you so much, guys.